Hello, everybody. My topic this weekend is quality versus quantity. Which is more important? Obviously, that depends on what walk of life we're talking about. There are times when we only need one thing and we'd like it to be a good one. There are times when we just need something serviceable and we need a lot of them. There are times when you obviously want to have a balance, and there are times when you might think that one is more important, but it turns out the other is. In warfare, for instance, I think many people, when they're planning, think we want to have the best weapons, but ultimately in wars of attrition, I think quantity has been proven to trump quantity. How about language learning, language study, use of foreign languages, reading foreign languages? That's not a war of attrition. There too, we certainly need quantity of study time, quantity to put time in, hundreds, thousands of hours ultimately to get really good in a foreign language. But there I think we have to think the opposite of something like a warfare of attrition and think slow and steady wins the race, as I've tried to talk about these past couple of videos, and give the nod to quality. It's my experience and my observation really that quality study time, small chunks of quality study time, systematic and regular, as I've talked about recently, are what really carry you through. When you're studying, doing something like studying a foreign language, you have to be 100% focused, 100% concentrated, be able to give it 100% of your attention. That quality is really what matters. If you're not doing that, you're wasting your time, even if you're putting in the hours. And I think, unfortunately, many people read about that. They read that, statistics say that in order to get to a certain level in a certain language, I need to put in X number of hours. And they try to program for that. They might make a study schedule and try to force themselves to put in that number of hours. But those numbers are meaningless unless those are quality hours. If you're not focused, you're not paying attention, if you're not concentrating on what you're doing, you're wasting your time. So that was my message in my video about learning a language in 15 minutes a day. It makes me a bit sad that so many comments up out there like that won't work. There's not enough time. That does add up over time, and the message there is that that's not all you'll ever need to do, but that's what you can do with that particular method to get started, to get in the study habit, and ultimately. With anything, when you get more passionate and you get more advanced, you have to put in more time. So there's no question but that, yes, language learning, language mastery, learning a foreign language to a high level is inevitably a question of years. To be blunt, years to spend the time to really become familiar with it and get to it. But years of what? Not just years of, putting in, just ticking off the hours, forcing yourself to sit down and study. It's really my experience that when you're trying to stay focused on something, you can only do so for so long. You can only do so for a relatively short period of time. Even if you're interested, eventually your mind is going to wander. You're going to start thinking about something else. And when people have the idea that they're going to sit and study for a long period of time, say an hour, and their mind starts to wander after 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then they have to spend increasing amounts of energy forcing their mind back to the target. And I don't think it ever really gets there. And you just have to spend more and more energy doing that. It's my experience that you're much better off switching topics. If you're studying multiple languages, studying one language for a short period of time, then studying another language for a short period of time, and you can go back and forth between them or between other languages. But that shifting from one task, from one way of focusing to another way, has always enabled me to stay focused. Whereas if I try to keep doing one thing for too long a period of time, as I said, I just find that I put more and more energy into trying to stay focused, and doesn't translate into more and more energy in actually productively studying. To stay focused, to stay concentrated, to keep your attention on one thing means that the information that you're studying is, you're going to go very much into your consciousness, and you're going to keep it there. And if you do this frequently, you'll revitalize it. You'll keep it fresh in your mind. So when it comes to language study, I would definitely say that quality of study, quality of focus, is probably more important than quantity. Yes, you need to put in ultimately the hundreds or thousands of hours to get to a high level, but those hours all need to be quality hours. And if you're not having quality hours, you're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to spend in many more than you need to. You can cut the number down with experience if you learn how to stay focused and concentrated and keep your attention on what you're looking at. So those are just some thoughts for this weekend. And as always these days, I like to close by inviting people to come by my virtual academy. And particularly if you like the kind of topics that I talk about in my videos, I have a class on Saturday afternoons called the Principles of Polyliteracy, in which I talk about this exact same kind of thing, but in much more detail. And also you'll have a chance to talk back to me, to ask me questions. So if you'd be interested in coming to have a visit at that or any other class in my academy, please have a look at the schedule, write for my assistant, and we'd be happy to have you come by. Thank you for listening. I hope this was valuable and interesting for you, and I will talk to you again next week. Goodbye.